All right, lots to get to with this weather segment. We do see some rains, especially out to the east, and we're going to see if any of those showers can find their way back this way. But a lot of it's going to run into some of the drier air in place, and that's going to be the tug of war that's going on. The same dry air and the same trough that's trying to push the hurricane away is also going to try to protect us from any of those impacts or effects from the storm that are trying to find their way back across I-75. Here's what Futurecast has. More of the showers near Jacksonville, trying to get as far over as maybe Valdosta or Live Oak, that I-75 corridor, but a lot of the activity likely going to get gobbled up. We'll watch and we'll see how the day plays out. I do think eastern areas have a little chance to get a couple of showers and can expect a few more clouds, while central and western areas going to have more sunshine and get awfully hot today. 75 right now in Tallahassee and in Valdosta. 72 for us in Thomasville. Whatever breeze we have is mainly from the north, and enough where you do notice it. We'll call it breezy at times, but certainly not windy like it's going to be up against the Atlantic coast. 68 this morning in Blakely, 76 in Perry. We're at 70 in Monticello. 70, 71 is where the morning temperatures are supposed to be this time of the day, this time of the year. I think we might be able to sneak in a few more 60s over the next couple of mornings with this drier air in place. There's that breeze, mainly from the north, less than 10 miles per hour. Even over towards Jacksonville, only 15 miles per hour. So we're not talking tropical storm force winds sustained over land. Most of that is offshore. Now we can see Dorian there. We can see Fernand that's working its way into parts of Mexico. That's a very short life cycle and likely going to fall apart pretty soon. We've been watching this one, it feels like, for weeks, and we're going to watch it more, maybe for several more days as it works up the east coast. Now that eye wall looked like it was having a little trouble earlier this morning, but now looks like it's holding together a little bit better, and I see some pretty good convection around it, usually a symbol that things are reorganizing and getting a little bit stronger. Most of the real significant rains and winds are close to that core, still 75 miles or so offshore, and you can absolutely see where those oranges and reds are wrapping around that center. We got a couple of decent showers making its way near St. Augustine and trying to move back over towards Ocala. What kind of rainfall numbers are we looking at? Well, over land, most of it is less than 1/4 of an inch per hour. We see some not too far removed from the center, about 2/3 of an inch per hour, and a couple closer to that center, where you're talking maybe 1.5 inches or more per hour. So that's the kind of rainfall rates we're looking at. The heaviest ones close to that center, much weaker when you get far removed from the center, especially when the dry air starts to take over. Now, the entire tropical setup across the Atlantic Basin, super busy. Fernand, Dorian, we spoke about. There's more energy here across the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. We'll watch and we'll see how things interact with it. Gabrielle is out there, going to have a careful eye on it over the next several days. And there's even more energy coming off the coast of Africa, so it's going to be a very busy period, but it almost always is as we get into the second week of September, that peak of the Atlantic hurricane season. On the Gulf today, winds out of the north and northwest 12 to 22, breezy at times. High tides will finish up after 7 o'clock this morning. Now we're going to go 60s and 70s, sun more west, clouds more east, in the middle a little bit of both. Mid-90s hot today, but not humid. And we'll put the rain chances around 30 or 40% for eastern areas, lower to the west. I do think there can be some 60s overnight the next couple of nights as that drier air is in place. And while I call it September hot, which is different than July and August, hot and humid, 96, guys, is still 96.